Back wheels on the ground. Put it on the ground pretty.
With any tractor, when you're getting on and off it, 3 points of entry. Alright, three points of contact, 1, 2, 3. Right, so you're hanging on to something as you get in. That's the best way to get on and off it. 1, 2, 3, you're on. And then the same way to get out, 1, 2, 3. Or you can back out, whichever. So to start the tractor, once you're in the seat, you've got to be sitting on it. Because if you're not sitting in the seat switch will stop you from starting it. If you're resting your foot on this pedal, it's not going to start. Okay?
Which pedal? That one.
This is the hydrostatic pedal.
Yeah.
It makes the tractor go forward and backwards.
Yeah.
It's got to be in the neutral position. So if you get on the tractor and you're resting your foot on it, it won't start. Take my foot off it, still won't start. Put my foot on the clutch, start. Okay? So there's everyone familiar with the term PTO, power takeoff. There's a PTO switch at the back here on the side, a yellow knob. So the PTO switch, if it's turned on, right, if someone leaves the switch on, you won't be able to start it. And you'll be like, hang on, what's going on? It still won't start. So PTO switch has got to be off. You've got to be in the seat.
Where's the on off?
You can see the indicator on and off.
Yeah.
On and off.
Yep.
Okay, so PTO switch is off. I'm not touching the pedal. Foot on the clutch. So, because the tractor's hydrostatic, it won't go anywhere until you push the pedal on forward and backwards. There's a 3-range transmission, low, medium and high. So that's the range lever just here. So if it's in the neutral position, you won't be able to drive it. You'll push your foot on the pedal and it won't go anywhere. Alright, so you can select low, medium or high. When the tractor's running, you need to put your foot on the clutch, right, to select those gears. If it doesn't go, because they're straight cut gears, if it doesn't go, what you'll have to do is just rotate the transmission a little bit and dunk, in she'll go. Just like a 4-wheel drive. If you can't get it in low range, you might have to, you know. So rotate the gears of the transmission, boom, in she goes to the medium range, and away you go. This pedal here is your park brake. So, and also your brakes, right? So there's a left and a right brake. At the moment they're linked together. If you undo the link, you can brake individually. For you guys, unless you're highly experienced tractor drivers, leave it in the lock position so that both wheels are braked together. When you're parking the tractor, push your foot on the brake pedal and apply the lever.
Oh, quick question. That's the back brakes or front brakes or all the brakes?
Back brakes.
Back brakes.
Yeah.
Can I just add something about those 2 brake pedals? If you have it disconnected, so you only put your foot on one, if you're on a steep slope and you're moving and you have one brake lock up on one side, you will get a very nasty shock.
It'll spin around.
The other one will keep driving.
Yeah.
It'll spin around,
So to apply the park brake, as I just said, push down hard and apply the lever forwards in the direction of the arrow. To take the park brake off it, one touch release. Okay? That's apply and release. Okay?
Can you do that one more time for us, please?
So apply the brake
Right out.
and
You've got a light on the dash
release.
somewhere that shows it.
There's no park brake light.
No,
There's
okay.
no visual.
So you don't want to drive off with that gauge.
That's the thing, that's a good point. So when you get on the tractor before you drive, you obviously want to disengage that, otherwise you're going to burn the brakes out because it's got enough horsepower to drive through it. Okay.
So what's the procedure if you're starting the tractor and it's already on a slope?
If you're starting the tractor, the park brake will all be already on because it's on a slope.
Yeah.
So you'll get on, if you don't apply the park brake on a slope, it'll roll away. Okay, so you get on the tractor, put your foot on the clutch, start the engine.
Yeah.
Once you've ensured that you're in a range, you can then disengage the park brake and take control of the tractor with the transmission.
Right, just like an ordinary motor car.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So this is lever time. What are all the levers for? This is the throttle. So that just revs the engine up and down. So that's why we call it the throttle lever. This lever here is the four-wheel drive lever. Now you can see there's an icon, a drawing, and you can see the bottom one is the transmission is broken in two, and the top diagram is the transmission joined together, which means four-wheel drive. Okay, so that's four-wheel drive is up, two-wheel drive is down. To get it into two-wheel drive, foot on the clutch. If it doesn't go, and it's not going to go, it means that the gears aren't properly aligned, so we just need to start it. By the time you drive forward a little bit, bump, it'll plop into gear. Right, so up is four-wheel drive, down is two-wheel drive. This here's a diff lock. So it's a heel apply diff lock. If you're down in the gully and you're in four-wheel drive and you still can't get out of the bog, put your heel on the diff lock, it'll lock in and both the rear wheels will drive together. The moment you let your foot off, your heel off the lever, it reverts back to a differential. So the wheels will operate independently. Okay, this one here is what we call the drop rate valve. Anyone know what that does?
Nope. Say it again.
Drop rate valve. So what it does is just it's just a gate valve, just a tap on and off. If it's wound all the way shut, the linkage won't go down, right? So if I unwind it, okay, just undoing the tap, I can bet if I wind it all the way, it goes down fast.
Right.
So that's what we call the drop rate valve.
Yeah.
So the reason it's there is sometimes you'll have a really heavy implement on the back. So you might want it to come down not so hard, so you close it off a bit. So if someone's been mucking around with that and you jump in the tractor and it doesn't go down, like, it won't go down, open the valve a little bit.
Would you use that to set the height of the implement as well?
No, this is your height control lever here. So this is what we call position control lever for your 3-point linkage. 3-point linkage at the back, which raises the implement off the ground. So if you all have a look here, you've got between 1 and 8 positions. Right? So as you raise it up, it goes from 1 to 8. You can use this knob. So for example, you had a particular attachment on there that you only ever want it to go down to that height. It'll only go to there. Okay? So for the purpose of the exercise, we put it all the way down. Okay, still with levers. If you have a look here, this is the hydraulic remote lever. Okay, when we operate that lever forward or backwards, it sends oil out these hydraulic remotes at the back. Now you guys don't have a purpose for that yet, but one day you might. Okay?
We've got a blade on the other tractor.
Yeah, so if it's a hydraulic blade, you can plug into that and then you can use that lever to oscillate or turn the blade. That's what it's for. Seatbelt, It's there, so wear it for your safety. It'll keep you, increase your comfort as well. Okay, the last lever here is what we call cruise control lever. So cruise control, so this is for all the cruisy people, cruise control. So it works the pedal, if you want to have a look. Alright, so when I push the lever forward, it's actually working the pedal. Okay, so it might be in a situation where you're mulching this whole paddock and you just want to set your speed. It's a fantastic feature. So when you know you've got your engine revs so that the mulch is spinning at the optimum speed, you can control your ground speed with the HST pedal. That's the beauty of hydrostatic. So like I said, engine's spinning, mulch is spinning, bring on your speed with your foot, and you want to lock it at that speed, just bring your lever forward and hold it there. To cancel cruise, you hit the brake. Right, if you urgently want to cancel it, you hit the brake. Alright, we'll pull the lever back. Okay, simple as that. So it's a great feature when you're mulching, it really is.
The speed of the mulcher for heavy going or light going is controlled by the
Engine.
engine. Well, you've got a 3-speed selector here.
No, that's got nothing to do with the PDO. All that
right, okay.
all that is your ground speed.
Yeah, righto.
So
Okay.
do I want to go in low range?
Yeah, that's what I mean. But if it's heavy going, you'd have the tractor moving slowly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. If it's heavy going and you want maximum performance,
Yeah.
you know, you just want to cruise along at a low range speed. Engine revs set, mulch is spinning up 540, and then that's, especially if you're in steep country, you'd be definitely using low.
Yeah.
You guys will find you'll be using low and high and medium, unless you're driving down to get the eggs and milk. You might be in high range, but then again it might be too bumpy. Yeah. Okay. So then we've got blinkers here, headlights on and off, and horn. Oh,
Gotcha.
So there's no separate
Everyone awake?
reading for your PTO revs,
yeah, they're,
distinct from the tractor?
yeah. So it's based off the tacho here.
Yeah.
So you'll see there's a triangle, a little arrow there, which tells you that you're at 540 RPM.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay.
Great.
When it's freezing cold in the middle of July, August, and you're the first one on the tractor for the morning, you can glow it. So you'll see here there's a glow position on the key, on the left there. So you turn the key to the left, glow light comes on the dash, count to 20, and then foot on the clutch, crank the engine, away she'll go. Now for some reason it's not starting. Right. The reason it didn't is because I had my foot on the HST pedal. Okay, so motor control. So I'm going to talk with the engine on now. When the engine's running, we can pull the loader control back and the loader goes up. Forward, the loader goes down. Up, down. If I want to crowd the bucket back, I'll come to the left. Left, right, left, right, and then up, down, down. Okay? If you want to lock the loader control, there's a lever here. So lock the loader control, nothing happens. It's locked. Unlock it, and then I can resume operation. That one locks the loader control. Okay. Now I'll show you this button. We'll put the button on, and I'll show you how to do that. Right? So pressing, I'm going to do is take the pallet forks off. So lift it up a bit, roll it over. What I want to do is lift these levers up. 1, 2. It brings the locks up out of the holes. Back goes off. Roll bucket forward. Go down. Goes out. Now, the park brake's still on. Because the tractor's been running, there's hydraulic pressure in here, right? So what I want to do is dump the pressure before I connect the bucket hoses. Alright? So what I do is I just turn the key on. See this power button here is on, it's lit. I can turn it off or I can turn it on. The moment I turn it on, it powers up this solenoid down here. And if you listen, you can hear the solenoid working as I operate the 4-in-1 buttons. Alright? Okay? So what that is doing at the moment is dumping the pressure in the circuit. Okay? If that power switch isn't on, nothing happens. Okay? So now I've dumped the pressure, I can connect the hydraulic couplers. Yeah, you won't, if there's pressure in there, you won't get it on.
Or if it does, you'll get oil coming out everywhere.
Yeah. So
Hot oil at that. Yeah, right.
So pull the collars back on your female couplers.
Is there one before the other? Either?
Always do the bottom one first.
Bottom one first.
Yep.
Is there a reason for that?
Just because it's easier.
Okay.
You've got the other one in the way.
Yeah. Right, so we'll start him up. Now, let's start the buttons on. So I'm just doing that by pushing the button and opening the close. Right, see the lever, the rod just there? See the chrome rod? Yeah. When the knuckle part of it is in the slot, that means the bucket's flat. Okay? So, come back this way, you see the bend in the rod. When the bend in the rod is in the bottom of the slot, that means your bucket's flat. So you have pallet forks on, the forks will be flat. So now if I lift the bucket up, you watch the bottom of the bucket, it will stay flat. It's a self-level loader. The way you do that, round, tilt the bucket with the lever here, left, right. See how it's moving the rod? Exactly. And at the same token, you don't want to tip the gravel onto yourself. So if you've got a bucket load of gravel there now, it's not going to tip out. If I lift it up, it levels it back out, see? See how the bucket's not tilted back on us? It won't allow you to do it. Okay, so line up the slot, bingo, bucket flat on the ground.
Question for you about the bucket. Is there a float?
Yes,
There is.
good question.
So that's people there.
So once I start the loader,
What's the question again?
Float on
position.
the bucket, and he'll explain it what a float is.
so say for example you want to back blade the road and you don't want the arms to dig in, you can put them in float. So you lower the bucket all the way to the ground and then you push further forward. Watch my hand here. That's float.
Yep.
Okay?
And that will ride up or drop down.
Oh, float.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The bucket will float for you. So instead of
Float.
digging in and lifting clear of the ground, if you're trying to smooth the road, it's
Yeah, exactly.
might be a handy thing. And then you pull the lever back and you've got normal control again.
You could demonstrate by putting some of this gravel into those holes.
Yeah.
Bob, good practice for you, mate, when the rain stops.
So, but just remember that while it's in float, obviously it's just doing exactly as this gentleman said, it's floating. You need to pull it out of float physically.
So it's
Okay.
riding the contours.
It's just following the contour of the ground as you're dragging it back, yeah. So at the moment it's in float, pull it out and then I'll resume normal loader control.
And that's at any angle of the bucket. You can
Yep.
put it in float.
Doesn't, so if I wanted to, say for example, on the back blade, put the front of the bucket on the drag back, I'll just put it in float. If I drag back now, because the ground's soft, it's going to dig in, but it will eventually get to the point where it stops. So in that position there, it's the bucket and blade is closer. So the blade is down.
Pick up the log.
Yeah, so if you want to pick up a log, open your bucket. Go down over the log and then close your bucket.
Oh yeah.
So this one here is open, this one here is closed. Open and closed. So clamp the log, you roll the bucket over again, you drop the log, lift the log up, carry it through, and away you go. So, yeah. Right, so
When you're operating the mulcher, is there the best point, an optimum place for that to be?
about axle height with the bucket rolled back. See how I've rolled the bucket back? You want to come down to about axle height?
So you can see over it.
Yeah.
Gravity's better that way.
Yeah, it's better if you can get to axle height. Your 7 of gravity's where you want to
And
be.
you'll leave the bucket on when you're slate or mulching.
You
Leave
can
it
do,
on.
yeah, you can do. Or
Would you
can-
recommend leaving it on or
Yeah.
taking it off?
because ultimately you might come across a log. You might
Yeah.
want to move it.
Yeah.
So you just like
Levers here,
yeah.
lock it on. What
Yeah.
are the consequences of forgetting to lock it on?
Bucket will fall off on someone and kill them.
With huge, expensive and dangerous consequences. So everyone recognise that. Those levers are an absolute must.
Yeah, they have to
Do
be
not
locked down.
forget to put them down.
So the position I've got it in there now, obviously no one's going to walk under it, but the reason I've got it up there like that is to demonstrate the loader lift, the safety bar support. So undo the...
You can lock it in the up position.
No, Brian.
Yeah.
Gail? No.
Alright, so we just need to lift it up a little bit taller. Everyone look, see the rounded part?
Yeah.
It goes to the bottom. The flat part goes to the front end of the cylinder.
Perhaps you're using the pallet and standing on the pallet?
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, so now the safety support's in place, right, and this gentleman here's put in the locking pin, right.
Two positions, either.
Yeah, you can put it up
Doesn't
that
matter
way or
which
that
one?
way, doesn't matter which one.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Then that makes it safe enough to
So
get
is there an
here.
One each side, is there?
Is there an accidental bumping point on the control that someone could touch without knowing, and the whole thing comes?
If I
Bob, get out of there!
So if I go to
Oh
lower,
yeah, you won't now, but
if I go to lower that loader now,
yeah,
it
okay.
stops on the stop.
So it could be bumped that way accidentally, and the whole thing will just fall.
Fall
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
If you didn't have that support
If you
there,
didn't,
Only the one of these?
there's only the one.
Doesn't really need to.
You can lock the loader. Remember, like I said before,
Yes.
you can actually lock that control.
Yeah, yeah.
See, look, it's locked.
Check again. Yeah, so that's this guy here. Yeah.
So I'm just demonstrating how you can support the loader. When the mechanic comes and does the service, that's what he's going to do. The mechanic's going to again whoop, pull this lever on the side.
When are we going to do it? Over the camera.
Okay. There's a little knob there that we pull. So the mechanic's going to come and he can safely work in around, okay, in around the engine and so forth.
Sulphur.
That's anti-corrosion.
So does he have a computer interface to do diagnostics? No.
Thank Christ. Alright, so that's your bonnet release there.
Yeah. Air cleaner.
That's an air cleaner, coolant bottle. That's your visual. If there's nothing in that, call for help.
Something wrong.
Something wrong. The battery, nice and easy to get at. You don't need to open the radiator cap at all, ever. Okay, and then you've got the screen here in the got a glass screen over here on this side.
Oh yeah, clean that
So
occasionally.
because you're mulching,
Yeah.
it's inevitable that's going to get full of grass. The first time you overheat the tractor, it's because you haven't cleaned that out. Right, that's what it's for. Okay, you'll see there's a couple of slots where that goes in.
So you're blowing compressed air through it. You'll blow through the radiator from the back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, or even your leaf blower, blow it all out. Okay, just bang that off, get all the grass, wipe the grass off it, you know.
A square, is it? Goes in either way?
It goes in this side only,
Yeah, but...
and it'll go, you'll see there's a tab.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, so the tab's got to be on this side. Right, and pop him in. Okay, over this side is your oil filter for the engine, your oil filler. Okay, the dipstick is on the other side for the engine. This clear bowl here is your fuel filter. If you see a clear line in there, that means you've got water in your fuel tank. That's the visual.
Is there an engine shut off here? You know,
Yes, so you can
a mechanical shut off for the engine.
for the engine.
the electrics fail or the switch breaks. Or
Yeah. So that's it there.
Yeah, righto,
Okay, you see the solenoid at the front there?
Yeah.
That's the electric solenoid there. If you were to run it out of fuel, right, first of all put the fuel in the tank, loosen this ball, this valve here, undo it.
Yeah.
There's no mechanical pump. There's no mechanical pump.
Oh, really?
Right, there's not a hand operated one, there's a camshaft operated one.
Righto.
So loosen that drain cock,
And gravity.
wind the engine over and over and over and over and over and over till it splutters and fires. Lock that off, start it.
So that's to let air out, is it?
That'll push the air out the fuel pump and back to tank.
Ah, righto. Yep.
Okay. There's a hydraulic filter there.
Yep.
And on the other side is the hydrostatic filter. So there's two filters. They've got to be changed at 50 hours.
Yep.
So is the engine oil. So first 50 hours is engine, fuel, not fuel, engine, hydraulic and hydrostatic filter with an oil top up.
And you folks do that?
Yeah, yeah, we've got the mechanics that can come
You're
out for
mobile
you.
mechanics?
Yeah, we've got
Yeah.
three.
Come
Yeah.
out here,
Inside the front axle is oil, and that's a job for the mechanic. Every 400 hours of the maintenance intervals on that. So the engine oil is first one's at 50, then it's 200, 400, 600, 800 and so on. Every 400 hours is transmission and front axle. So now, in other words, every second service you're doing the oil for the transmission and front axle. And I've got all the books for
Engine oil,
that.
transmission oil is not one.
That's correct. Separate cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about the front tyres with water?
So there's no water in the front. There's only water in the back.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
And they're filled now, presumably? Or
Yep.
it's filled? Yeah.
They're up to about yay. All right. So to pull the bonnet down. Any questions about under the bonnet? Just remember the dipstick's over this side. If everyone wants to have a look.
Sorry.
All right, there's the dipstick there. Okay. So to shut the bonnet, just stand in the front, pull it down till it clicks, and then lock your front guard into place. The reverse of that is to pull the lever, pull the guard forward, pull the trigger, up she goes. Okay.
Right, so what's the clearance if you're running away from a bushfire? How high of a load would you go over?
That much.
That much? You can get over that? I'll take it.
Alright, just going to start it up.
Still locked in.
And you pull that up once I raise it up a little bit.
Umbrella. Oh, okay. It is too.
Ah. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other way there. 'Cause you're not going to be able to the other
Yeah.
And the hydraulic system currently has a
Just the engine speed. So if the engine's spinning very fast, the hydraulic pump's spinning fast, you're pumping more oil. You let idle, it's slow. And I'll rev it up, watch this. Yeah. So that, in the end, all that does is control the drop rate. The drop rate. Nothing to do with that.
It's only the rear.
Yeah.
Alright, so to turn the mulcher on, basically what we want to do is bring it up to about 1500 RPM. And then make sure everyone's clear and engage the put on the clutch, engage it, put on the clutch, engage it, put on the clutch. Yeah, between 2 and 3. About 25, 2600 RPM.
The maximum revs, yeah.
Yeah, you can't over rev it. Yeah. So, just no one get under there, but at least if you want to have a bit of a squizzy, you can see there's a rear roller.
With your knees, are that good?
So, and then the hammer that's under there as well. Okay. So this will need grease every 8 to 10 hours. So we need grease here.
Every 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah, and full operation on the mulcher.
All the other linkages.
So all the other linkages, there's grease on the loader controls. Every 10 to 15 or 20 hours. You don't want over greasing, you have grease everywhere.
Don't over-grease.
Yeah.
Only one nipple for this for the whole.
So there's one on each end. Okay. And then there's one on the roller, on the end of the roller. Each end.
He's already told me today.
So on the rotor, all it is just 2 to 3 pumps. Okay?
Hear that, Bob? 2 to 3 pumps. 2 to 3 pumps.
2 to 3 pumps, just pump, pump, pump.
Once a week, max.
Oh, it depends how many once you use it.
We're just going to let that down. You see we've got our drop rate valve set nice and steady. All good.
And what happens if you drop it very quickly?
It'll just go bang on the ground.
I'm not worried about paint, Bob.
Is the idea when you're mulching that to have the roller on the ground?
Yes.
And you're just basically tracking like that?
100%. The cutting height, there's 3 cutting heights. 1, 2, 3. It's in the middle. You'll probably find you'll leave it there. So lower it down onto the roller. The top link here is tight. You can see that this is level with the ground.
Yeah.
If I pull that top link shorter, the mulcher's going to do that. So you want to try and have that flat with the ground. In the top
If the
link
grass
adjustment.
is really dense, you raise the front slightly.
Just have it. Just
It doesn't work jams up, won't you?
well, it just depends what you mean. Like that's an absolute snap for it out
Oh, yeah,
there.
indeed.
That's nothing. But if it's
Area.
Yeah, we
if
got,
it's Soteria that high, you just have to control your ground speed. Yeah,
and not reverse, just forward.
just always forward. Yeah. So with these PDO shafts, just push in the centre of the red tab and lift it out. Same with this side. Push in the centre of the red tab, lift it out, hang them to the bottom. Lift that up out of the way. When they're like that, you can slide your collar off, right? That gives you access to push your button and slide the PDO shaft off, okay? Simple as that.
Never that simple, man.
I know.
It's a struggle.
It just makes it so much easier if you
Yeah.
pull that
Yeah.
cover back.
Yeah, sure.
A bit of grease on that shaft will help.
It surely would.
And that just pulls back once those two red tabs are pulled up.
Yep.
So you've got to depress both buttons, slide it, and they'll click in.
Alright, shaft's back on.
Yeah.
Click it in place. And what you'll find, if you look down here, it's a bit dark in here, but you see the white tab in there? See it goes white?
Take
Yeah.
your word for it, yeah.
What it actually is that white collar. See that white
Yeah,
collar
right
there?
there. Yeah.
So push it on till you see the white collar.
Yeah.
Click it in.
Now this is always done with the tractor off,
And then you
engine
pull that
turned
back,
off.
yeah?
Yeah. Yep. And then that can go back down. The only difference between this tractor and the one you got now is that this has got telescopic rear links. So you can push that,
Oh, brilliant.
right? Okay. Fantastic
Yeah,
feature.
it is, isn't it?
Why is that fantastic?
Oh,
It
because the
just
other one
means
is,
that
you've
the-
only got to hold.
You don't have to be backed right up to the hole. You can push that and you can slide that in and out, line the hole up, put your pin through, and then what you've got to do is back up onto it. And it'll click into place.
Fix into place when it's in the right.
Yep.
Lovely. Just like you're jumping in and out of the single.
You would not normally take this off doing roadworks. This is going to stay on, mate. Oh, hang on, you're going to have the counterweight.
You've got your counterweight.
Yeah, so that's got to be on. Isn't
Yep.
Counterweight on to use the bucket?
Yeah, so if
every
you,
time or?
if you finish your mulching work and you don't want the mulcher banging around on the back of the tractor,
Yeah.
unload it, put your counterweight on, go and do all your road work
How much
with it.
does this weigh?
It says on the tab there.
The big counterweight was 600.
it? 372
That's
kilos.
twice the weight.
So yeah, 650, so you've got a great counterbalance
Yeah,
with the counterweight on. So with the counterweight, obviously you just be same as you always do, put an implement on, take your pins out, open your stabiliser arms up,
yeah.
back onto it, use your telescopic link here to get it on.
I don't normally do that on this guy, but that's a good feature on this.
Well, probably because maybe you've already got it
You
set.
can sort of just, you got a bit of
Yeah, you've
flex
got it.
in.
Yeah, you've got it within reason, that's why. Now see here, there's a sight glass for the transmission. Okay? That little round circle, that
Okay.
little round glass.
Yes. And you can see the oil in it,
You can see
transmission
the
oil.
in it.
You got to be able to view it.
If there's no oil in it, it'll be stark white. So it'll be as white as that sticker, you know? But when there's oil in it, it's that tangy white colour.
That's the oil there, I think.
Yeah, that's where it goes in, and that's the level. You can adjust the suspension weight of your seat on this here. You can wind it in or out for more or less tension on the spring. You've got a toolbox just with a couple of couplers, a couple of spare pins and clips in there.
Anything you'd recommend us getting in the way of tools? Extra tools?
Shifter.
A shifter.
Shifter and a hammer
And a rubber mallet. A rubber mallet.
and a grease gun.
I got a grease gun.
We got a grease gun. Yeah, a rubber mallet.
Yeah, rubber mallet's
Now,
handy.
in your manual here,
Yeah.
is there a pre-use walk-around inspection or check that we should
So,
use?
So
You want to check every time we go
just the dailies is for me just a visual. You know, no one's tampered with that. Looks good. Obviously, you want to check the engine oil. You want to make sure that the radiator's not blocked with grass.
Yeah, righto.
So you can do that without having to lift the loader up. You can physically just push that front guard forward, open the bonnet, have a look at the radiator. Looks good. If not, blow it out or get a brush it off. Yeah, and just a quick look at the coolant. Make sure the rat hasn't chewed a hole in the radiator hose.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing that happens. Or
Yeah.
there's a snake curled up somewhere on it.
Yeah, just
So
a
I still haven't seen the oil there.
The dipstick.
yeah, that's it.
So on the dipstick, you've got which level are you looking
Put
at?
out, look.
So okay, so
Oh yeah, there we go.
Right.
okay,
where do
so
you want
that's
the
That's
oil?
high. That's low. Yeah.
that's low.
That's high.
It's hot.
It is.
If the oil's on that mark,
Mm.
fill it up to there.
How much?
Right.
1
It'll be
litre.
about a litre.
1
yeah.
litre from there to there.
So you'd
Righto.
expect it to hover about those
At the
marks
moment,
there.
she's full. Not enough revs on it. You'll
Yeah.
hear it go
Scream a bit.
screaming,
Yeah.
and that means it probably wants a bit more revs.
Right. And you run about 1500 revs on engine revs when you're mulching.
No, you want to run about 2.5.
2.5. Well,
Yeah.
you really had it screaming down there
Yeah.
before, didn't
Between
you?
2
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
3.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and you'll see the little triangle on the dashboard
go for
saying PTO.
Yeah.
Go for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you got that collar 8 greasing points. And you don't over grease it.
Yep, so you got 2 on the bucket, 3 on the bucket, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's 20.
They're all
Yeah.
facings.
You got 11, 12, 13, 14. There's a few. But
As you say, yeah, once a week or
you'll
max.
see, if you grease it once a week, you'll probably be saying, hey, look at the grease everywhere.
Grease going everywhere.
You'll know.
Oh,
You-
it's just
you'll
that,
know.
that
Yeah.
the old, this one over here,
Yeah.
gets too much grease. So, Colin,
No, it's gets the perfect amount. Doesn't it?
does it? Yeah, what's that?
But here's a bit of excess grease here, for example.
Yeah,
It'll just
see,
come out
so-
through your sides.
Yeah.
You'll notice it. Yeah.
But you'll hear it when you pump it, you hear it go
Yeah,
crack.
you feel it. You feel
You
the,
feel
the
it.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a danger of taking this off when it's under pressure. You want to make sure you do that button release.
Yeah, always dump the pressure,
Yeah.
pop out, decouple.
Yes.
One good practice to get into is put your couplers together, join them together,
Yep.
right? Because there's male, female.
Oh, when it comes off,
When
join
it
them
comes
together.
off,
Yeah,
join
yeah.
them together, and what
Yeah.
that
Dust
does,
out.
Yeah.
2 things exactly.
Yeah.
But the second thing it does is equalise the pressure in the cylinders.
Oh, yeah.
So if
Okay.
the bucket's been sitting in the sun all day, the
Mm.
pressure
One
builds
stop.
up.
Yeah, yeah.
One cylinder's hotter than the other,
Yeah, it'll equalise.
and so
Okay.
that's a good practice to have. And then that way, when you pop them apart and plug them back into the tractor, you've dumped the tractor pressure and
Yeah.
you equalise the pressure in the bucket.
Yeah. And there's when they come out, you've got your open couplings there.
Yep, and then you've
Two
got
plugs.
dust caps
Yeah.
to plug them off
Yeah.
on the tractor side, but you're going to plug the bucket side
Yeah,
together.
you can't do the tractor side though, so you're going to
That's
plug
right.
it. Yeah.
It's lit,
Yeah.
you can then open and close the bucket.
And if it's not,
If it's not,
the
no
bucket will
biggie.
still go up and down.
Yeah,
still tilt the
you
bucket.
still get loader
But you
control,
can't pick things up.
but you can't open and close.
Yeah.
Right. What's that?
Okay, that's the lock.
Ah, yeah, right. Okay.
Okay,
I worked out how this works. This is, how
Yeah.
shall we say?
that's pretty
It's a simple
straightforward.
device.
Yeah,
Very simple. Yep.
yeah. So once that's running, lift it up a little bit, power up the solenoid, and then I can see the buttons here. There's a diagram. Push that button and it opens. Let it go. Push the bottom button and it closes. Okay? You try. So just remember with your loader control,
You're a bit robust with the controls there, Bob.
yeah, you can feather it. That's what I was just
Yeah.
about to say. Just remember with your loader control, you can feather it. Hear the oil starting to come, and then you can go. So if you feather it to start with, yeah, 2 more revs. It'll go faster. Level indicator, flat on the ground,
And then, if you're going to take the hydraulic
okay, so we
couplings
want
off,
to dump the pressure,
yeah,
just turn the key to on,
yeah, and then just
and now dump the pressure.
It's got to be on to do that. Oh yeah, you got to hear
ah,
that.
yeah, it goes click,
You
click, click,
feel
and then
that
nothing.
pressure dump?
Yep, that's it. Righto.